Open your eyes, what can you see around? Wind of the open sky, over the siren sounds. This is a dream, getting the royal scar, holding a diamond blade, throwing it far.
So it's our wedding anniversary. Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Lua. This is the first time you've seen me. Hi. What's that for, Vivi? Thank you.
Got the wrong guy. See me fly. You know they'll never catch me for it. See me fly. The way I put my finger on it. See me fly. You got it. Then try to tell me you got the wrong guy. Look at them now, all of the noise they make, counting the cards to one.
Hello beautiful people, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Wow, as you can see from the anniversary vlog before, it's been 11 years of matrimonial bliss with my best friend and partner. I've been thinking that how can I mark my 11th year anniversary? Last year was a bit of a big deal. We did anniversary vow renewal, which I showed you guys. But this year I thought I'll do something different. I thought I'll talk about 11 things that I have learned, 11 lessons, 11 valued advice that I'll give anybody looking to get married or already married for a year, 10, 15, 20, it doesn't matter. So I've compiled things that I believe if I knew them then, I might have done things different, but it's never too late. So sit back and enjoy. So let's start with the first thing. One thing that I have learned, and I did not know, but over the past 11 years of being married, I've learned that there will always be ups and downs. If anybody said to you that marriage will be a bed of roses, people say this, but it doesn't really matter if you've not been in a marriage and witnessed the times that you think you're done and the times that you think, oh my god, I'm the luckiest girl alive. If you've not appreciated this, that is what marriage is about. There must be ups and downs. Don't take it down to take you downhill, and don't take an up to think that you will never go down. So just bear that in mind. I've also learned to keep my domestics within the confines of my home. It's not everybody you think is pleased for you is actually pleased for you. So this is something that will take getting used to. The thing about telling people, family, friends, whatever, is to aggravate a situation. So you might tell your mom or your friend that your husband snapped at you for no reason. You've not given the whole background story. You snap at your husband as well. But the person you're telling will never look at your husband the same. Then the next day he buys you flowers, or you guys make up, or you go somewhere, you will forget that that happened. But guess what? Mary, you've told, would always picture your husband as that monster. So I've learned to keep the domestics within the confines of my home. Sometimes the people you tell mean the best or have the best intentions for you, and sometimes not. So it's really having that kind of emotional intelligence to know what you divulge and what you don't. But things, day-to-day stuff, keep them in the home, okay? Keep them to yourself. Another thing that I have learned is that happiness comes from within. And it's something that if my husband's watching this video, he'll smirk, because we always talk about it, and he's always said, nobody else can make you happy. And I used to say, I don't know, but people can make me unhappy. No, it's vice versa. Only you can truly make yourself happy. And what your partner does is he or she enhances your overall quality of life and your happiness. They don't define it. Because if you let your happiness be defined by somebody, you'll be up and down. But if you keep your emotions steady and always have it behind your mind that you need to be happy, then all they'll do is enhance and make your life even more beautiful. I know can say all day like, oh, heard this before. But just take a moment to think about what you're doing and what's making you unhappy. If you're watching this video, for example, try to think of number one. The people who really don't suffer any health conditions, people who are selfish with their emotions, selfish with their happiness, it's an attribute that although it has selfish, it could work out for good. So bear that in mind as well. Another point, which a lot of women have not learned to practice this, but I have learned over the years. I was not always like this, no. I will tell my story someday. I've learned is to have a solo life. Even twins, right, have separate lives at some point. And I've learned that having a solo life, having things that you love to do by yourself, having a network of people away from your partner is really amazing. I'll talk about myself. There are times people have written to me, I've had some comments, some remarks about, are you single? I don't see you traveling. Your husband lets you travel. He lets you go away on holiday with your girlfriends. How does he accept that? Honestly, it works for us, and it works for a lot of people. Because if you both have things that interest you separately, you'll find out that the time that you spend together is really, really quality. And that helps you not to get upset about maybe not spending time enough, especially how busy life is. And having a solo life makes you genuinely happy with yourself. And that's what the point before of being happy. And then the next point, which is the fifth one, links directly with this, is have things in common. My little sister got married recently, and I remember her husband saying to me, what's been the secret? Have you kept being married for 11 years? And I said to him, love might be a bit overrated because sometimes you can fall out of it over the years. But what doesn't go away is having a best friend and making sure that you guys have things in common. So although I say having a solo life is good, I have learned over the years as well that having a common ground, I think, is the basis of your relationship to be based on friendship. And sometimes you don't start off that way. You might start really romantic and then it grows into a friendship, and that's what happened to me. So we are more of friends. Like I always say that if I have something boiling gossip, the first person I think of is my husband. Yes, somebody who, when everything else fades off, when you're using a walking stick, when you're 18, 90, you still have this common ground. If he's going to the movies, if he's going for a meal, like to go out every now and then like you saw in that video, just for a meal down the pub to talk about each other without the kids. We like to share and laugh on the same topics, but we have individual interests as well. The next one is I actually stopped pretending. You know when you pretend to yourself that you're happy when you're not, when you know there's an issue but you don't want to talk about it, when you just want to believe in your lie and believe in your bubble and then start believing it, when you refuse to be vocal about what will make your relationship better, when you think that if you talk you're nagging, when you think that your partner must know because you've said it before, I've stopped all of that. If you want your marriage to last, you need to be more vocal, honest, not be a nagging wife, but you need to say how you feel, because that's the only way you communicate and get things better, especially at the beginning. And talking about what you feel will help to avoid long-term issues. I always joke and I say that the day I stop caring, I stop talking. So I have learned that if there's something that I could fix, I'll say it, and I would not pretend. I'm very vocal about what I want. I'd rather be vocal and it doesn't happen and I know that I had tried, as opposed to just letting it go because you don't want to be nagging, you don't want to seem like you're complaining, you want to pretend it's all good, you want to avoid those uncomfortable conversations. They'll come up later. So I have learned to be more vocal. You should as well. The other point is, for those of you who have kids, this will really resonate with you. Kids don't feel the gap. Kids are there. We get married. Really, the reason sometimes of getting married is to procreate, right? To extend your brood. But they don't feel the gap of marriage. They don't feel the gap of being lonely. They don't feel the gap of company. They don't feel the gap of unhappiness. They are not a reason to stay married as well. So although I'm giving you valued advice, I am being as honest as it gets. And if you know me, you know that I live by saying what I genuinely think. A lot of people fall into this trap of keeping the kids to keep them happy. Oh no, these children are the reason why I'm here. Our parents did that. Kids are not there, because if you are in an unhappy space with kids, it's 4 times worse. If you do look at research, the kids are less happy long term, and it will affect them in ways that you cannot imagine. So that's all adage of that mentality of the kids, of you being married for the kids. It doesn't work that way. And for men as well, don't think that having a woman having kids means that you can do what you want to do, because there is space in the heart. Your heart is so big that you can have 10 children and love 10 children the same, and you'll still have space to love your spouse. So they will not take away that gap of love, because a woman or a man or a human's heart can accommodate a lot more than you would imagine. Okay, please make your partner, I've learned to make my partner feel valued, especially for men. This is for you women. I know that this is for both sex, but there's something that I was told. I remember my auntie telling me this recently, that it's a man's world, and I'm like, no, we need to make our men feel special. Why? If you believe in energy and receiving energy, it means that you need to give what you want to receive, right? So in terms of value in a relationship, in terms of your man wanting, everybody wants to feel desired. Don't forget, don't get complacent after 20 years of being married, or 10 years only, or 5 years, and think that he knows already I care about him. Keep saying it. Remind him how much you love him. Make him feel like he's wanted. Make him feel like he's valued. Make him feel like he's important. We like our egos massaged, and the opposite sex even like it more. That's a tip that do it and thank me later. The point I'm going to make now is really for before you commit, before you get married. Maybe all the other points I've given is once you've been married for years to kind of revamp things, but this one I'm going to say now is try, women. I know that sometimes when you're so desperate to get married, if you're a bit older, or nowadays people just want to all be married, and it's nothing wrong with that, but I prefer that we have the harsh conversations before we commit. Let's get the harsh things out of the way. Let's talk about what we really like to do, talk about our core values, religion as well, sometimes, especially with denominations in Christianity. You hear stories about Catholics, Baptists, Anglicans not marrying in the church, or not wearing a white dress because they have kids. All of those harsh conversations should be had before you commit. How many kids you want? Do you want kids at all? Those sort of things should not be swept under the carpet. Or what do you like to do? Do you want your woman to cook for you every day? What are your values, your core beliefs? Those conversations should be had before. Although it's really about revamping relationships, but this is a point that I think I just had to slip in. The 9th point or so, please don't get lazy. When I say lazy, I don't mean physically lazy. I mean lazy in making an effort. Honestly, I think we all are guilty. When you've been married for a while, you just get up in the morning and you just throw your whatever you have, whatever you see. Especially this is again for women and for men. And you just move around the house looking very unattractive. If you wear your kaba or you wear your gandura or whatever, and you just stop making an effort. You don't even wash your face in the morning, you don't look good, you don't do your hair, you don't do your nails, you don't want to look attractive or sexy. Please. Honestly, the things that tied you together always have to be remembered. Yes, it's not all about physical attraction, it's about who you are. But trust me, if there wasn't that physical attraction at the onset, you would not be married. So you need to remember that the person you married still fancies the person he met. So bear that in mind. Don't just let yourself go because you've been married for 50 years. There are jokes that women just enter the house and take their wigs off at the door and throw it and start strutting about looking like, somebody from a horror movie. Try to keep it good. Both men and women, freshen up, look good, smell good, take a shower before you go to bed. Don't forget those core things. This is the 10th or the 11th point. You are married to your husband or to your partner. You are not married to his family. I know this might be a bit controversial, but trust me, if I tell you this, I have experience, okay? You might have the best husband and the worst in-laws, or you can have the best in-laws and the worst husband. When I say this is always vice versa. I'm a woman. Our culture, in an African culture, when I meet a lady who says, oh, you're beautiful, I like your vibe, you can cook well, I love you, the way you look, the way you carry yourself, you're very intelligent, my brother will like you. Really? I'm going to hook you guys up. Oh, thank you. I cannot wait. And then you meet him and the family like, oh, she's the best thing after sliced bread. You will love her. You're gonna just, you know, gel so well. Okay. And then because of all that pressure from both ends, you're forced to be together. You might make the person think, oh my God, I'm not really attracted. But because you've heard all these things and you're in a position where you love the family, you believe that with time you love him. You can have the attraction on just basis and the love will grow, but you must have that initial love in a relationship before you commit to marriage. Even when you're married and you have in-laws that might not be that good, you need to remember that it doesn't matter. You are married to your husband. The in-laws, you have to love them, but let them not define your marriage. Let them not make you feel less of a person. Let them not make you feel like you cannot be happy. So I think it's both ends. If they're nice and the husband might not be too nice to you, might be in an abusive marriage or in an unhappy marriage, and you think that because you have to endure because your in-laws are so sweet to you, you're the only one who stays in bed and cries up at night. So always try to divorce the two, your husband's family or your wife's family, and make sure the person in question treats you like you deserve to be a king and a queen. The other point is, I don't compare with anybody. Okay, we all have a story, we have a journey, we have a purpose, and we have a direction which is very individualistic. Nobody's story is the same, nobody's destiny is the same. We all have a path and it works for individuals the way you make your bed. So please, whether you're married, you're in a long-term relationship that is serious, don't look at why and think that that's how you need to, you know, live your life. Everybody's dynamics works different for them, and that's the reason why you should not look at your friends who maybe go on holiday every minute together, hold hands, are very tactile, and you guys are nothing like that. What works for you works for you, and don't always believe whatever you see because it's face value. Sometimes what you see could be very, very deceiving. And that's on a side note, but that is something that if you bear that in mind, it'll avoid a lot of heartache, a lot of comparisons, and a lot of pain, a lot of problems that don't matter. Don't see your friend's husband buy a brand new iPhone 13 Pro Max and think you need that, or buy them a new laptop or that and you think you need the same, or take them away, get them expensive gifts. There are a lot of underlying issues that you would not imagine they're going through. And lastly, I think I've already said this, but the 11th and the most important point is find time to do the things that you love to do. Please don't forget what made you friends. 11 years later, we try to, even if it means in a year, we mark special days. That's why sometimes on an anniversary, we must go for a meal, because we have 4 kids and our hands are full. We have a lot of commitment with the kids. We both work full time and we live abroad with our family, much to help. So whenever we have an opportunity to have like my mom around, we mark special days, because those things that you guys did before are important. Sometimes we go to the club if we're in an environment where there's like when we're in Cameroon on holiday, we go to the club, we do things that we used to do back then. We try to every now and then go away without the kids or just do stuff. Even with the kids, learn to do things together. Every little gesture helps. I hope that you found this interesting. If there is anybody who you think these points might actually help, please do well to share. And if you've enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to my channel if you've not already. And yes, put your notifications bell on while you've subscribed. And thanks very much for all your time. Bye bye, and I'll see you in my next video.